Right.
Hi, I'm Lisa.
I'm Stuart, and we are at Bonnerig RV Life on YouTube. That's BONNYRIGGRVLIFE. So here we are at
Lake Texoma, and I'm sorry it's been a long time since we videotaped. We did last weekend, and we did about 20 minutes at
Lake Tawakoni.
Lake Tawakoni, and our audio didn't turn out because it was windy. So if you saw those pictures Stuart took of me of fishing with a dress and cowboy boots on, after we did filming, we thought, let's go out and go fishing, you know. So we did some fishing at sunset, and it was beautiful out there.
So we took the video back home and to the rig, and we discovered that you can't hear a bloody thing because of the wind. So now I've got the microphone set up. It's windy again, it's kind of breezy, but we have the microphone that came with the package that I didn't have connected, and we're hoping that this will isolate the wind so that you can actually hear what we're saying. So
yeah.
As Lisa said, we're at Lake Texoma, which is north of Dallas. When we did our last video, we were actually at Bridgeport, which is west of Dallas. That was our last video. We went from Bridgeport to Lake Whitney, south of Dallas.
For 3 weeks.
For 3 weeks, and then we went to Lake Tawakoni, which is east of Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we only did 1 week there, and we'll tell you about that.
Yeah, we'll tell you about that. We had to exit that one.
After 1 week.
After 1 week.
And this is Thousand Trails, by the way. Thousand Trails Bridgeport, Thousand Trails Lake Whitney, Thousand Trails Lake Tawakoni, Thousand Trails Texoma. And before we go further, Thousand Trails Texoma is fantastic.
Oh, it's so beautiful here. The trails are beautiful. They really keep this place up, and we just love our site. It's sunny, it's level. Yeah, we only booked 2 weeks here, so when we come back it'll be 3 weeks. But yeah, if we we didn't know what the 4 camps look like until we got there. But if I had to do it over again, I would go between Bay Landing and Texoma, between these two. Lake Whitney wasn't bad. Our last campsite, we were there, 4 weeks ago. We left Bay Landing and headed there. It's really wooded. And we had a problem leveling twice there.
But the
third time we had the most beautiful sight in the woods. We had a neighbor, but they left, and we basically had the place to ourselves. I mean, there was nobody near us.
There was no one in front of us. There was no one on either side. We had a nice little valley down below.
Yeah.
It was tight to get in. It was a back in between 2 trees with about 1 foot of space between each side of the rig. But anyway, we managed to get in. We used the walkie-talkies,
yeah.
And we successfully made it in.
And we started fishing.
Yeah,
we got some fishing poles, and there's some fishing holes Stuart caught fish at
Lake Whitney.
Lake Whitney.
Then we went fishing at Lake Fork, which is near Lake Tawakoni, and we caught fish there. Both of us did. We'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
And then we're at Texoma, and once we finish this video, we're going down the lake. As you can see it behind us, but we're going to go down to Lake Texoma after we finish this to see if we can catch another fish.
Yeah.
And then basically I'll have done the Grand Slam of Dallas lakes, except I haven't caught anything at Lake Bridgeport yet.
Yes.
All right, so let's go back to where we're at. We were at, we did the Whitney thing. Repairs maybe?
Oh yeah.
So when we went from Bay Landing to Lake Whitney, we had a leaking leveling jack. We got that fixed. So I think now we've other than the springs, but I can come back to the springs.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. Yeah.
So we talked about all this before. Now we're doing it again because of the fact that we had to waste 20 minutes of our lives.
I know.
All right, so what are we?
So anyway, we were 3 weeks at Lake Whitney. Enjoyed our stay there very much, and then we headed into Lake Tawakoni. It's about 2 hours north on the west side.
Northeast.
Northeast. And we got our site. Let's see.
Our jack sunk into the mud.
Oh,
they gave us a site on the water, so we backed in, and it looked level to me. The site looked level. I pressed the button. You know, we have automatic leveling. Pressed the button, and the rig said excess slope, which I couldn't understand. So I went outside to see what was going on and discovered that all 4 of the leveling jacks were like 8 inches into the mud. It was completely sodden.
It had just rained there for like 7 days straight.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a nice site. We were right on the lake. There was kind of a little lagoon that came in. But when Stuart tried to level the rig, it started to sink. And I was inside the rig and I heard like an explosion. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Tell him you put
Well, I tried to put 2x4s across the holes, and of course when the jacks went down, they just broke the wood, splintered it. And of course, you know, we had people on Facebook telling us, oh, you got to use 12x12s. Well, I'm not going around with 12x12 planks of wood. It's too heavy. Also, we did buy leveling blocks. You know, we bought proper leveling blocks, which we didn't use. But what I was worried about was, even if we got the leveling jacks leveled, I think there was a possibility that the rig would have sank into the mud overnight, which would have been really bad. So anyway, we went back to the
office.
To the office. They helped us out. They gave us another site, which was also quite close to the lake. We were very happy with it at first glance.
Yeah, at
we
first
backed
glance.
in, all good.
Yeah.
And then what?
Yeah, so anyway, we get on this site and I said, oh, Stuart, this is a lot better than the other place. We could see the lake and, you know, and then we went, you know, we went to bed that night. The next morning I wake up and I'm kind of looking at it and I'm like, Stuart, do you see how many leaves are in this site? There was leaves literally from the front door, and we like to put our tent up because that's where our storage is. So I said, can you rake the leaves so we can put the tent up? And so he started raking leaves. We put the tent up. Then I said, Stuart.
The leaves were about 6 inches deep.
Yeah.
And it looked like the leaves hadn't been raked for like 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, and the neighbor came over and said, this is the most mosquito-y place. And he had a leak, a water leak. So not only was it the rain that we just had rain, but it was the neighbor's leak.
His water connection had an underground leak. So there was water coming from underground, coming up to the surface, going right across our site. So it was muddy, it was insecty.
It was buggy.
And the other problem we had was that the sun was setting on the not leisure side, the driver's side of the bus, and of course the leisure side is on the passenger side with the awning and all that good stuff. So it was kind of dark at night, in the evening. It was dark, no sun, mosquito fest, muddy.
I know.
So we left after a week.
Yeah, and I told Stuart, I said, you know, first let's just go get a rake, and let's get some garbage bags and rake up the leaves. So he spent literally 4 hours.
I spent about 4 hours.
And
yeah.
I come out and I said, Stuart, you didn't even make a dent. And he goes, what do you mean? I was out here for 5 hours. I go, look at all these leaves.
Well, what I did was I collected the leaves around the bus into bags, but the ones further away, I raked them into a pile. So I had created like a 2-foot high wall of leaves across the whole site. But anyway, it wasn't adequate. So
and
we
then we had
decided to leave.
Then we had kind of a run-in with the neighbor. We won't get into that.
Yeah, it was
alcohol
induced on his part, not on our part.
And he was forcing me to. We were so, you know, we're on the wagon, and he was really pushy, and he was foul-mouthed, and so anyway, we went in and we were only there a week, and then we came up here to where we're at now, Texoma, and it's been beautiful, wonderful. Oh, I did want to say something about Lake Tawakoni. The grounds were beautiful. The clubhouses were not. Everything was nice. Except
the lake was really nice.
Was beautiful, except they needed to work on their campsites, you know. And
at least that was.
And when we walked around the campsite, there were some that were dry, like right across from us. Some of them were dry. So I'm not saying every campsite was like ours. We just happened to get the two.
She wanted to move again, but we had already unpacked, like we said, and I'd already put up the tent. And I said, if we move from here, we're moving out. I'm not moving to another site.
But we enjoyed the week. We went fishing.
Yeah.
Oh, and then it was by where we went. Your friend took us. We went fishing
on Lake Fork, and Lisa caught a 5.5 pound bass. The first bass she'd ever caught. Actually, almost the first fish she'd ever caught. She caught the biggest fish of the day. I caught a nice bass there. So did David, our friend that was with us.
We had a great day. The weather was beautiful.
She won. She got the most. She got
It-
4
I-
fish. I got 3 fish,
yes.
and David got 3
And it
fish.
really boosts my ego because when we got fishing poles, Stuart was catching all the fish, and I go, honey, I cast great, and he said, well, you're not really striking that, you know, you have to kind of strike, and so I was kind of getting really discouraged. So Stuart wasn't catching anything, and I got 1 fish, and then I got this huge bass, and he said, what people wish all their lives they would get
90% of people that fish for bass never catch a bass of that size.
of that size.
Something like that. I think that's something.
And then
you said
another 2
something like
fish I caught were edible. Those were pretty good size. And you started catching fish.
that. I caught 3, and I caught a bass that was probably about 2 pounds. I'm thinking
Yeah.
2.5 pounds, half the size of hers. There you go.
But our fishing guide, he taught us a whole bunch of techniques to catch fish. So I learned a lot of things, and he had tons of stories.
Anyway, last week at Tawakoni, she hooked a nice big fish, but it came off. I saw it come out the water,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it came off her line, and then I caught another little bass there. So I also caught the smallest fish I've ever caught. It was about that size.
It was funny.
It was smaller than the lure, but that was that was kind of funny. All right, what else have we got?
Oh, I was just going to say Texas. You know, we were here when we came in the winter, and it was horrible. But Texas in the spring is beautiful. There's a lot of wildflowers. Everything just turns green and lush, and the weather's been perfect. And so anyway, we've really enjoyed our stay so far, especially at this campsite.
Everything's working on the rig now, almost. I'll have to change out the springs, the jacks, the leveling jack springs. That's going to be an episode. That's a finger
Oh, yes.
losing potentially
kinda
episode. So I want
scary.
to count my fingers before I start and make sure I have the same amount when we finish. But that's I saw a YouTube on how to do it, so I'm going to do it, and I'll get Lisa to film it. We'll be doing that maybe this weekend, and that could be lots of fun.
Yeah, so
there's
Stuart-
8 springs that need to be.
Yeah, if you ever get an RV, you either have to have money to pay for people to come, the repairman, because they charge by the hour, or you have to be handy. And Stuart, gosh, he can get in there and just fix anything pretty much.
Fixed the sconces
You
today.
did, and we
Wiring problem.
Yeah, we have 3 TVs in there, and he took out one of the TVs, and we're going to put like a fireplace, you know, one of those, what
Like
is it?
a fake
Like
fire,
a fake,
heater with a fake fireplace.
Yeah,
thing.
because we don't even need
We
3
don't really watch
TVs.
TV. And then what else? I fixed the trailer connector. I think I fixed it. The wiring is probably wrong because the diagram I got from Tiffin isn't correct. But you know, I'm blabbing a bit now, right? Anyway, everything's working. Touch wood. We haven't had major issues. What we're doing, we're here for 2 weeks, and then we go back to Bridgeport, and then from there we may be leaving Texas.
Yeah, we're thinking mid-June we're going to be leaving Texas and head up north and start doing our journey. We've loved Texas, but it's going to be really kind of miserable here in the summer, it being really hot.
And even more miserable in the winter.
Yeah, and we don't want to do another winter. So we've had a great stay here.
We've started planning. We're
yeah,
heading
tell
to
them about the Harvest Host.
yeah,
and-
we signed up for Harvest Host, and we're planning to go to, I mean, it's a provisional plan. We're going to go to New Mexico. Are we
Yeah.
going to Utah?
Yeah, we're going to Colorado at a state
Colorado.
park. We're going to see all the 5 national parks in Utah. We're going to come down a little south to the Grand Canyon. We're going to head into Nevada. Hopefully
Then
see
California.
see
Maybe-
my cousins.
Maybe California in
Joshua
September.
Tree. Oh, and there's one national park that not many people get to because you
You need a boat.
you need a boat. But it's off the coast of California, so we're hoping. What is it? Canary? What's it
I
called?
can't remember.
Channel Channel
Islands
Islands,
or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
anyway.
So we're going to be south near San Diego, maybe like September-ish, and then we want to head up the coast
And then we're
to
going to meet our
Oregon.
friends. Tell them we're going to go to
gonna meet-
Oregon.
well, provisionally, they don't know yet. Louise and Martin, we're going to meet them hopefully in Oregon in October, we think.
Yeah, they're from Scotland.
That's
They're
what we're provisionally
Stuart's
planning
friends,
to
and
do.
they want to come over and kind of maybe rent a little RV, and then we could do like a road trip together. So we're thinking on the coast of Oregon, and then maybe Bend, Oregon, So anyway, we have some fun things planned.
So, and no 1,000 trails there, so we'll have to figure things out.
Yeah.
So coming back, final comment from both of us on 1,000 trails. Lake Bay Landing, which is Lake Bridgeport or near Bridgeport, we'll give that a 2 thumbs up. Lake Whitney, beautiful site, but very difficult to get in and out. The roads were really bad, potholes, but staff were good. Again, hit and miss, great site, or maybe not. Lake Tawakoni, beautiful lake. When I say that you can walk down to the lake front.
Yeah.
Whereas at Lake Whitney, there's like a drop off.
Yeah.
It's not that you can walk down. There's no beach per se.
Yeah.
So Lake Tawakoni, there's like a beach, area where you can fish from. You walk down to, and then same at Lake Texoma. We're going to go down. I'm looking down here. There's a beach down there. We're going to go down there and do a little bit of fishing. So 2 thumbs up for, 3 thumbs up for.
Yeah.
Texoma,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I would give them a 3 to 4. Or I don't know how many
and
thumbs
if it's
up
5
you could
stars,
do.
five thumbs.
Yeah. Bay Landing. So we're here 2 weeks going to Bay Landing, and Bay Landing had a really cute town. We didn't talk about our anniversary. Told you that we were going to go out on the town in our anniversary, and they have a cute town. They had a cocktail bar that we were at, and then a
wine tasting
winery
room.
that had live music, and then
The Italian restaurant.
The Italian restaurant. We had our anniversary, so
We had fun there.
Yeah, they have more of a town. I guess here they have some casinos. Chris Isaac was going to come to one of them, but we're not going to be here. And so we'll have to, look around this town and see what there is to do. But yeah, we're really happy to be here.
It's almost, this is Wednesday, right? We're here for this weekend, and then next weekend we move. And then we're going to be in Bridgeport for 2 weeks or 3 weeks? Is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
I'm not sure.
Two or three. We're coming, no, 2 or 3, then we're coming back here for 3.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'll have to look at the schedule again.
I know, we get confused,
We're leaving, right now we're planning to leave Texas on June 15th. We'll see how that goes. We'll keep you updated.
Yeah, but we're having a lot of fun. I think a lot of the kinks are worked out. I'm sure we'll have some more issues, but at least we're under warranty now. And
yeah, right now everything's working.
we meet really cool people. That's the thing too, is along the way, some people, I don't know, but we met a nice lady that had been on the road, and she gave us all sorts of tips.
They had a Prevost, 45-foot bus, an old one. Prevost is one of those rigs that's a big Class A diesel. I think the new ones go for $1 million plus, 2 million, whatever. They're high-end rigs. The one that they had was a 97, so quite old but beautiful. Outside. We had a long chat with them.
They've been on the road for
unfortunately,
4 years.
we didn't switch numbers. Yeah, that couple had been on the road for 4 years. So yeah, good for them. They were heading to Montana.
Yeah, they're going to be a host, I think.
Camp host in Montana somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, shall we wrap it?
So why don't you take the camera and just show them this view
All right,
here real quick.
I'll stand up and
we're gonna
you hold that.
Yeah, we're going to walk down here and do some fishing.
I'm just going to do a rotation of the tripod. Okay, so there's Lisa. There's one way. Oh, we got
a neighbor come.
We got a neighbour coming, and this is us. That would be the bushes at the back, and there is the lake.
Go by the trail again. We're going to walk down that trail, go fishing. There's a little you could go over, and then there's another park on the other side.
So we're going to walk down that trail, and we're going to catch some fish, hopefully. Here we are back again, and then let's just say adios. All right, so I think, yeah, that's it.
So anyway, that's it for today.
No funnies, no funnies.
I know, we really don't
so
have
much
anything funny. I mean, well, the thing is we live in we're with each other all the time. And we can get kind of heated with each other.
Uh-oh, red alert.
And so we had an issue with the dolly, and Stuart didn't put the pin on it.
Oh, that was another story.
Yeah, and that's what was that when we were
that was at Lake Whitney.
We were moving from one site to the next, and I'm trying to call him on the phone because the dolly is going everywhere on the road.
I forgot to put the wheel up on the dolly, and the wheel was bouncing along the road, and eventually the wheel shattered, But anyway,
But I'm honking to him. He didn't even hear me.
couldn't
I'm
hear it.
honking because I didn't want to break the dolly. I saw it just going all over the road, and then something exploded. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know it was a tire. And I'm
it wasn't a
honking.
tire, it was just a little plastic
And you know,
wheel.
we're learning every time something goes bad. We're always learning something. So that time I said, Stuart, I said, you have to always have your phone with you on, and I have to have my phone on in case something we need to get a hold of each other, you know. So that's kind of the only tense. We had a real kind of tense moment.
We have a few tense moments.
We have some moments.
Mostly her fault.
No,
No.
there's some, yeah.
All right. Okay.
But
on
anyway,
that note,
we're doing fine. And thanks for following us. Give us a thumbs
subscribe,
up
thumbs
and
up,
subscribe.
and whatnot. But say hi to our 45 right now subscribers.
Oh yeah, we got 2 more.
45. Well, we got more than 2 since the last video.
Maybe 3.
3 or 4, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But anyway, sorry it took us so long to do, and we had one, a couple weeks ago or a week ago or whatever. Didn't work out, but
Bye.
anyway, okay,
Bye,
bye.
everybody.
See you later.
Bye.